Pre-Cas interview preparation. Most of you have paid the deposit to the university, and university requires you to attend a credibility interview or Pre-Cas interview. But this is not only things, because you see embassy also take interview case by case. So when you submit a visa application, embassy might consider taking an interview. And if this is the case, then you've got to be ready for that. So whether your university take a Pre-Cas interview or not, still you should go through all the questions that embassy might ask, and then prepare yourself. So regardless whether university take interview or embassy take interview or not, you should be in a very good position to tackle that situation. So first of all, I would like to discuss what's the importance of the credibility interview and why does university take the interview. Okay, so the main reason why university take interview to identify that whether you are a genuine student, and when you submit your visa application, whether you will be able to secure your visa. So if I give you an example, let's say if you submit your visa application and embassy take an interview, and if you do not pass the interview, then your visa application will be refused. And if your visa application get refused, then university will be in some sort of trouble. Now, how? So UKVI has a rule that if any university gets 10% visa refusal, the Home Office can suspend their license to recruit international students. So therefore, it's very important for university to recruit students only who will be able to secure the visa. Now, some of you might say that UKVI is not taking any interview, but UKVI was taking interviews all these days. Nowhere it says that UKVI will not conduct interview anymore. Only during COVID session, during COVID time, they have stopped taking interview, but still they do take interview is case by case. So when the application goes to an entry clearance officer review your documents, and then if they think that they should interview you, they will be calling you for an interview. So we cannot take a risk of visa refusal. We must make sure that you are ready, so that if embassy take the interview and you pass the interview and you get the visa. And that is why universities still they practice taking credibility interview. Okay, so how to prepare ourselves for that interview, and what is important, what kind of questions they will be asking you. This is what we are going to discuss today. Now, the same preparation would help you whether you have made an application but you have not received an offer letter. Sometimes university take an interview even before they issue an offer. Some university take interview before you pay the deposit, before issuing unconditional offer. Some university take interview after paying the deposit. So once you pay the money, then they take the interview. So different university has a different process in place. So regardless, whenever they take interview, it doesn't matter. We've got to be ready. That's the main important thing is here. Now, what sort of question embassy will be asking you and how we can answer those questions? This is I'm going to discuss. So first of all, I will be sharing my screen with you. So give me one moment. Now, first of all, there are different topics that they will pick. So one of the topic is country related. So for example, why UK, why not a different university? So anything about the country related in general, yeah. Secondly, questions about course related, the course you will be studying, they will be asking those questions. Third, university related question, that the university will be studying, they will be asking question about that particular university. And then they will ask about your finance. So for example, who is funding for your studies, or that you have the financial mean to come and study in the UK, about your accommodation, where you will be staying, okay, how much it will be costing, and so on. We'll be discussing all these points in detail in a couple of minutes. Then about your immigration status, for example, whether you've had previous visa refusal, whether you applied for visa before, this sort of questions. About your career, okay, what do you want to do future, so what's your career plan, this sort of questions. General knowledge. What is general knowledge? You see, you are coming here to study, for an example, marketing, but you don't have a basic idea of marketing. Or you want to study biomedical science, but you do not understand the basic science term that goes with your course. So this sort of question they can ask you as well, about your personality as well. Okay. So for example, when they ask you so many different types of question, they will understand your personality. And COVID-19, I'm not sure if they are going to still ask about COVID-19 related questions. All these for last couple of years, they were asking about COVID-19 related questions, that whether you know and understand the COVID-19 rules and regulation. So I would say try to have a basic idea. At this moment in the UK, there are no restriction, nothing. So I'm not sure if they will be asking any question. And knowledge in the field of study, as I just said, is very similar to general knowledge and knowledge in the field of study. So general knowledge, for example, someone wants to study political science, and they said, a student coming from Pakistan, and the entry clearance officer asking, what do you want to study? The political science. He said, do you know who is the Prime Minister of United Kingdom? He doesn't know the answer. He wants to study political science, got no idea about this basic answer, that who is the Prime Minister of UK. You understand? So that would go under general knowledge. Yeah? And the knowledge in the field, more about the political science subject. Now, when you answer that question, how do they measure that whether you are a genuine student or not? Now, first of all, your answers, the answers you will be giving, are those research-based answers? You are investing 15,000 pounds for your master's degree. You will be spending another 25,000 pounds for your living expense. You are investing over 30,000 pounds for a course in the UK. If you are investing 30,000 pounds in a business in your home country, probably you would have made more money. You understand? So they want to know that whether you actually have done the research before you commit to come and study in the UK. The source of information. You are saying that, oh, my university is ranked #1 in the UK. Where did you get this information from? Okay. Now, there's so many different types of, so many different league table ranking. The university's ranking can be different in different places. So you've got to provide the source of information. Where are you getting this information from? The accuracy, you cannot give the false information. If you give inaccurate answer, they will be able to check whether your answers were correct or not. Now, some of the answers could be wrong or right, or some of the answer could be credible or non-credible. Okay, so for some of the question, there is no right or wrong answer. So we'll be discussing those in a detail. Then about the credibility we're talking about. So for example, you are saying, oh, I have a business, my family has got a business and we have enough money. So what kind of business you have? You say, oh, we've got a grocery store. How many people work? Or there are 2 persons work in a grocery shop. How much is your annual income from that shop? Oh, it's like 50 million. This is something not credible. Yeah, if you have a small shop, 2 person working, and you are making 50 million, I don't know, so these sort of answers, they're not credible. They're consistent. So you are answering something, whether your answer is consistent. So because they ask so many different questions, they will be able to check whether there's a consistency in between your answer. Okay. And also for students whose first language is not in English, they will look into the fluency of your English as well. Okay, so these are the basic topic and the measurement they will consider before they give you the visa. Now I'll go into a different page. So give me one moment. I'm sure that all of you have received these interview questionnaires via email. So I would like to discuss more those topics in detail. Okay, so first of all, you see there are about how many questions? We've included about 60 questions. Now, you see some of the questions may be relevant to you. Some of the questions may not be relevant to you. Also, it's not like that they will ask only question from these 60 questions. So bear in mind, they can ask you a different question that we did not include here as well. Okay, so this is only for a guidance purpose. but we believe that if any student goes through all these questions and they do proper research, then there is no reason why they should be failing the pre-CAS interview, or there is no reason why they should not get the visa. Okay, we've been maintaining this, we've been updating this interview questionnaires every year based on the questions what embassy asked, what university asked, and based on that we update that every year. And I'm very delighted to let you know that we've been maintaining 100% visa success ratio since 2019. So if you follow the instruction of your counselor, if you follow the instruction of our compliance officer who will be taking the mock interview, there is no reason why you should be failing. So when we do the mock interview, please make sure you listen to the feedback very carefully. Okay. Now, first of all, you can see there are 3 boxes. First one, it says do not edit this column. So when we send you this, we don't want you to edit that first one and the middle one, because these are the guidance. Now, why we have kept a box on the right side? Because we want you to, if you want to make a note, so for example, some students they would prefer to make notes, some students would prefer to type their answer first before they go for the interview. So usually a student who has a little bit lower level of English and the first language may not be in English, in that case, we usually suggest them to type their full answer and revise them. But again, we do not want you to memorize the answer, because if you memorize the answer, that could lead to failure as well. Okay, so for students whose English language is not first language, please feel free to type your answers. The students whose English is first language and very confident and can remember things, you can just make notes. Okay, now first of all, we asked here for student name. I don't think we need to discuss about course start date and end date. You should be able to find this information on your offer letter. Now, sometimes if you get the offer letter, so for example, so the course start date and end date may not be on your offer letter if the university issue offer very early, for example, 5 months, 6 months early. They probably have not fixed the exact start date, but that would be sometimes in September. So if you do not have the exact start date on your offer letter, if you do not have the exact start date, then you can just say my course starts in September. I have not received the exact start date, but I expect the course to be started sometimes in 3rd week of September. However, once your CAS is issued, you will definitely get your exact course start date on your CAS. So after getting the CAS, if embassy asks you about course start date, then you should be able to give the course start date, end date, and the latest enrollment date. This information should be available on your CAS letter. So please try to remember those dates. Okay. And we said information can be found on your CAS. Now, one question they always ask, which course did you apply for, or what course are you going to study? It's about course. So make sure you give the course name as it is on your offer letter. So for example, if your course name is MSc International Marketing with Placement, then when they ask you question, say MSc International Marketing with Placement, rather than saying Marketing with Internship. Now, give them the exact course name. If you are coming for a foundation course, so some of the students will study foundation, so make sure you tell them that the foundation course name and how many terms is that, and what would be your progression course. For example, I will be studying International Foundation year in business, following BSc Business and Management. Yeah. If you are going for pre-master's program, then you tell them that I will be studying pre-master's in business and management, following master's in project management. Okay, sometimes they do ask same questions so many different ways. So as long as you have good level of English, you will be able to understand the differences between those questions. But same question: what is your course title? What's the name of the course? This sort of question. Okay. Next one is, what is the main reason for choosing to study this course? Now, we included a few guidelines. Okay, for example, why are you interested in this subject? Okay, whether the subject is relevant with any of your life event, with any of your experience, or whether it's relevant with your previous studies, what sort of career opportunities it will open up, this sort of. Now, what is important here, that you give the answer in a way that you cover everything. Okay, so to answer that questions, number one, where the interest has grown for the subject, you give them answer in one sentence, then add that how this course is relevant with your previous studies and work experience. Now, if it's not relevant with your previous studies, then that must be relevant with your work experience. If it's not relevant with your study and work experience, then you are in trouble to provide that answer. Okay, so in that case, you've got to focus on your career plan. You've got to discuss how the course is relevant with your career plan. You might also consider discussing about the module that you will be studying. Okay, so what I would suggest to you, the best way to answer this question is that try to relate this course with your profile, okay, and with your career plan. Discuss what sort of career opportunities it will open up for you in your home country. Okay, now the question is, did you consider studying any other course? So if you say yes, then the question will be, okay, which other course did you consider? And then why did you not go for those programs? If you say no, the question is, why did you not consider any other program? So you've got to be very clever about these questions, because whether you say yes or no, you've got to provide a justification for both of them. Now, for example, if someone wants to be a barista and he is going to study bar program, then he can say, no, I did not consider studying any other course, because to become a barista, I must do bar training program. If you are going to study, if you are going to study, for example, let's say business management. Now, there are so many different subjects within that group, okay? Then you should say, yes, I did consider studying in finance, a master's in finance and also in business management, but I actually considered, or I've decided to go for business management because finance is more specialized in finance. But what I think, if I study business management, that would also cover finance as well as other function of business, so I will have a broad understanding. So that's how you must give a justification. Another thing, for example, if study for example, master's in political, so bachelor degree in political science, and now you are coming to study probably LLM. So why, political science to LLM? You discussed that there is a relation, that the student who has a degree in political science, they can study LLM. Or if you have done a bachelor degree in English and you are going for a master's in marketing, then why you are going for master's in marketing? There is no relation, direct relation. So you provide the justification. You say, yes, I did consider doing a master's in English literature, but looking into after doing the research, I've realized that about 50% students of English literature goes to work in marketing and in public relation. Therefore, I've decided to do marketing because I wanted to be specialized in that particular field. Okay. Now, what are the course module you will be studying? So whether you are coming for a foundation, undergraduate, or postgraduate, you must know the modules. Now, if you are coming for master's, please make sure you know all the modules name. Okay, you should not be making mistake on any of the module name as it is on the university website. If you are coming for foundation, then you should know your foundation course module as well as some of the module from your main degree, because if it's a 3 years degree, you will be studying at least 18 modules. So it could be a bit difficult for you to remember every single module's name, but you should remember some of the modules name. Okay, if you are coming for 3 years master's, 3-year bachelor degree, please make sure you know at least your first year module and also your final year module's name. Okay. Now, what is your course structure? So how the course has been structured? Okay, sometimes university ask. Okay, so if you know the module's name already, you know how many credits you will be getting, then it's easy for you to answer. It's just same question, but you need to answer it differently. For example, we say, okay, the course is a 12 months program. There are 3 semesters. I will be studying 3 modules in first semester, 3 modules in second semester, and in my final semester, I will be doing a dissertation. Once I complete the course, I'll be getting 180 credits 180 credits. The course include a placement, this sort of things. Yeah, how the course has been structured, the overall structure of the program, you need to discuss. You might also include about the assessment method. Okay, how the course will be assessed. Okay, if you are getting an additional award, for example, some of the course, if you complete, you see the university give you an additional award of CIM, ICM, and this sort of things. Okay, you could include as well. Now, which specific aspect of this course has attracted you, or which modules you most looking forward to study, and why? Now, the difference between the question number 3 and 5. In question number 3, they're asking for the list of module, all the modules name that you will be studying. And question number 5, they're asking you to discuss couple of modules that you find really interesting. So which specific aspects? Maybe the specific aspects is, for example, there are 2-3 modules, you name them and you tell them that these 3 modules is really relevant with my career plan, it's aligned with my career plan, so I prefer this 3 module. Apart from that, I also prefer that the university has an accreditation of what do you call ACCA or ICM or CIMA. So you discuss this, which specific aspect. So first one was, why do you want to study this course? They want more specific answer. That's why they ask you which specific aspect. So you got to provide a very specific answers. In terms of module, I already discussed that which module you most looking forward to study. Now, bear in mind, this module should be very close to your career plan. Okay, try to relate them with your career plan and pick 2-3 modules, and so that you can prepare yourself. And if in case they ask you about those modules, you tell them that these are the 3-4 modules I'm most looking forward to study. Now, we've seen students, if you ask them which modules are you most looking forward to study, they will give the full list of modules. We don't want that. We want a couple of modules that you are most looking forward to study. Can you explain the course overview and some module contents? Now, you will be studying 8 modules, for an example. You should know what you will be studying within those 8 modules. Now, no one asking you to read through the table of content of the book, but at least the basic idea you must have it. So if you go to university website, you should find the basic description of those modules. If you cannot find them, please Google it and take the information from somewhere else. For example, if you are studying Introduction to Marketing module, and if your university do not provide the information on their website about what you will be studying within Introduction Marketing module, but if you Google it, you should find some answer from other places, the basic idea of introduction to marketing. Okay, so you should have an understanding of the course overview, but bear in mind one thing, please do not memorize the answer from the website. So if you go to your university website and if there is a description of modules, say for example 4 or 5 lines, please do not memorize those 4 or 5 lines, because that would create big problem. Okay, that you have memorized it, you have copied the answer from the website. What you need to do, you got to give the answers in your own words. Okay, what is the assessment method of the course? Most of the courses in the UK are assessed by coursework, examination, class test, presentation, group work. So different university might have different one, but the very common ones are this one, yeah, that I've just told you. So for example, if you are going to Ulster University, London or Birmingham campus, the assessment method is 100% coursework, and that may include a class test. Okay, so you can get this information from your from university website. So have a look. Which qualification will you receive after completing this course? Is the title of the final awarded degree. Okay, we've seen students get confused. Oh, I will be studying BSc Honors Business Management. What am I getting? Actually, we are getting BSc Honors Business and Management. It's the same question. They're asking you differently just to understand that whether you understand this or not. What is the level of the course? So there are few different level in the UK. For example, if you are coming here for foundation, the course level will be level 3. If you are coming for first year, international year 1, the level will be 4. If you are coming for a bachelor degree, it will be level 6. If you are coming for a master's degree, the level will be 7. Okay. There is an explanation as well. Now, sometimes you get confused that in some university website, it says NQF. Some university website says RQF. When you do the visa application, it says RQF, SCQF. Okay. So NQF, RQF, this is the same thing. It was before, it was National Qualification Framework. Now they've changed the wording and now they say Regulatory Qualification Framework. Now some of the university have already updated this information. Some has, they haven't updated. So it's the same thing. SCQF is for Scottish qualification. Okay, so if you are coming for a NQF 6 course, that would be in Scotland, would be SCQF 12. So that's all about course. So what we understand about topic course, that you must have an understanding of course overview, course structure, the module, assessment method, and the module content. Okay, and also you've got to have a very good reason for choosing to study that program. Okay. Now, next topic is about the university. Okay, so they ask you in which institute are you going to study or at what university you will be studying. So they are expecting you to give the university's proper university name. So if someone says which university you are going to study, you say, I'm going to study at Northumbria. No, the name of the university is University of Northumbria. So give them the proper name, not just Northumbria, because Northumbria is the name of the place. So you've got to be careful about that. Yeah. And then why did you choose to study at this institute? This is all these questions are important, but this is one of the questions that students fail to answer. The reason, there are about 150 universities in the UK. You have chosen to study in one particular university. There must be a very good reason for that. Okay, so if you look into, there are so many guidance that we've provided. There are some link. I would expect you to go and click on every single link and try to identify. So try to understand. For example, if I go into this particular link, you see, it's the Guardian University League table, okay, for 2022 ranking is by Guardian. And you see there is a list of universities. For example, University of Dundee University is ranked number 31 for 2022. And in 2021, it was 19. Okay, now you can look into the subject area as well. So if you are studying, for example, business management and marketing, you could look into what is the ranking of business management and marketing. Okay, so we'll go back to our main questioners. Okay, so why did you choose? So when you were answering this question, we would expect you to give at least 5 strong points. Okay, now if you look into that, there are so many indicators we have. For example, subject-wise ranking, university general ranking, worldwide ranking. We also have the student satisfaction rate, teaching excellence framework. If you are coming for undergraduate course, you can compare your courses. You can look into university's profile on what uni, the fees, living expense, accreditation. There's so many indicators. Now, what we want you to explain that you do not have to study in one of the best universities in the UK. It doesn't have to be best, but you need to show that you actually have done the research, okay, before you make the decision. So pick 4-5 points. Now, if your university is not well ranked in the UK, for example, they rank probably 110 out of 130, try not to talk about the ranking. Talk about different things, different indicators. Talk about the course itself that they're offering. Talk about the accreditation. Talk about the location. Talk about the student satisfaction rate. Talk about the employability rate. You must find something that is good in your university, okay? So what we are saying that you do the research, go through this link, and make at least 5 points that you would like to discuss. And if you are discussing, if you are taking any information from third-party website, please make sure you put the reference. As I said before, that you need to include the reference where you have got the information from. So for example, we just looked into the Guardian University League table, and Dundee University's ranking was 33. Now, if you say the university is ranked number 33, we don't know whether you have taken that information from Guardian University League table 2022 or the Guardian University League table 2021 or the Complete University Guide League table 2021. We don't know that. So you've got to give the source of the information as well if you are providing any statistics, okay? And answer should be personalized. So usually, if I'm answering, I looked into, of course, universities ranking, but we do not have to talk about ranking at the first instance. I would usually talk about the course itself first. I would say the course that university is offering is really interesting to me, because if I looked into the course structure, they're offering this couple of modules that not many other universities offering, or there are probably a very good facilities that something comes with your course that many other universities not offering. So I usually I would prefer to have an answer about the course itself. Then I would expect answer if your university is probably within 1 to 80 within the rank. I would say maybe 1 point about the ranking. If your university's overall ranking is not good, then talk about the subject ranking as well. That if they're good in subject ranking, then you might talk about the scholarship. If you have received 1,000 or 1,500 or 2,000 or 3,000 pound scholarship, but please do not say that this is a cheap university, because this is what I could find. This is the cheapest option I had in the UK. Do not ever say that. They don't like it. Okay, it doesn't have to be cheap. What you say is giving you a course, it's giving achieve the learning outcome from the course will give you a best value for money. Yeah, that's what you could say. You understand? Maybe it's within your budget after getting the scholarship. So this sort of things this sort of information can be coming up with your answer, but please do not provide the generic answer. For example, this is the best university in the UK. You will fail. University is not there to listen that you are saying that, but they know whether they are best or not. If you are actually going to study in one of the best university, then you might say it. But if you are going, for example, Bolton University, what's the point for you to say, I will be studying in one of the best universities in the UK? If you are going to Canterbury Christ University, why would you say, oh, I will be studying in a best university? If you say that, you will be failing in the interview, because the interviewer knows whether they are best or not. They don't have to be best. Okay, they want to see that you are giving a reasonable answer. Okay. So make sure, let's say the rules is to answer that question, at least 5 points. Try to find strongest point. Do not provide a generic answer. For example, the university is very good. They have qualified teachers. Every single university in the UK has qualified teachers. If you are not qualified, you can't teach. You understand? So this sort of answer shows that you did not do research, but you were just trying to, give some answer, just to show that, you are trying to pass, but you actually have not done the research. And as I said before, one of the measurement for passing the interview was whether you have done the research, whether you had the genuine, accurate information, and whether your answers are credible or not. Now, Facilities. What facilities does this institute offer? Now, most of the university in the UK will be offering very similar sort of facilities. So what they don't like, if you say, oh, the university has library facility, every single university in the UK has library facility. So it's not important that you are saying library, but what is important here, you might say, if your university is offering, that my university offer 24/7 library. So 24 hours is open. Some of the universities 24-hour open library. So that is something unique. By having a library is not unique answer. Okay, you might be studying a program that has a certain what do you call accreditation from external bodies you might talk about. Maybe your university has a business clinic, and in that business clinic, or if you are studying a science program, maybe the lab facility is very good. So look into those facilities in detail and talk about. Try avoiding providing generic answer. If you look into here, we already given you so many clues. For example, club, societies, sports facilities. If you're a sports lover, then you see you are going to university which has a very big field and excellent sports facilities. If you are coming to study in a campus-based university, small campus, and you are talking about sports facilities, but they don't have that facilities, you will be failing in the interview. So you've got to make the decision, what are the unique facilities. Now here, sometimes they ask, what are the unique course facilities they're offering? So you need to look into and see if there's any facilities that are that they're offering which relates to your course. Okay, some students, they are not able to give any facilities at all. So again, make sure you do that research. Now, next question is, did you consider studying at any other institute? If any student says, no, I did not consider studying in any other institute, you will be failing. Okay, if you are going for a Pre-Cas interview, you might think, oh, if I say I've considered studying in another university, I might fail the interview. No, you will not fail. If you say you did not consider studying in any other university, then you will fail, because you see, a genuine student, okay, before they make the commitment to come and study in a particular university, they will definitely do their research. Okay, they will go to different universities' website, they will look into different options and courses, and then they will make the decision. So you must say that, yes, I did consider studying in some other universities, and then you have to give them the name of the universities that you have considered. Now, if I give you an example, you have selected a university that is ranked number 80 in the UK, and then you are saying that you've considered studying in Oxford University, and then you've considered another university which is ranked number 80. That doesn't make any sense. Okay, it seems like you don't know any other university's name, because Oxford University is a very popular university, everybody knows the name, and that's why probably you are saying it. Okay, so try to find some university's name, or look into some university's name that are very close to your university in terms of their facilities, their course structure, their fees. Okay, if you, for example, if you select an university, let's say the ranking is number 50 and your university's ranking is number 45. Okay, and then you say, well, I did not go to that university because their ranking number is 50 and they are charging about £20,000 for a master's degree, while my university's ranking is number 45, which is better than the other, and my university charge about £12,000 as a fee. So I actually get better value here. Okay, so that's what we want to see, that you give them 4 or 5 universities name. If you don't know any university's name, go on the league table ranking, try to find some university's name and make your comparison. We've seen some student will intentionally pick 4 universities. For an example, my university's ranking is 70, and I will pick one university from 75, another one from 80, another one from 90, another one from 110, so that I can say, oh, my university's ranking is better than all other 4 universities. No, we want it to have universities that is, some of them is bit better than your one, and some of them is not good, better than your one. And then the one is better than your university, you must have a different reason for not going to that particular university. Okay, so it shows the answer is genuine. Okay, it's not just you make up your plan just to answer that particular question, and based on your ranking you want to make the comparison. No, it's not going to work like that. Okay, so do your research, select 4 or 5 universities, and make comparison. Now, some of you already have made 4 or 5 application to different university, and you must have a reason for not going to those universities. Now, for example, I might say, well, I've applied in those 5 universities. Among those 5 universities, 2 universities did not really give me an offer letter. I was, emailing them, calling them. They did not give me. They didn't even, give me any reply. So I actually have received the offer letter from these 3 universities. Then your comparison starts in between those 3 universities, because even though you made the application to other university, they didn't give you the offer letter. So what can you do? So you start making the comparison in between those 3 universities. Okay, and then try not to focus too much on price. Okay, focus on other thing, but price could be one of the indicator, but please do not put so much importance on tuition fee. If you are too much price concern about the fees and living expense, then it shows that you might have some financial problem. Okay, and that is why you are more focused on price and you are looking into cheaper option. Okay, you need to show that it's giving you the better value for money. Okay. The next question is, we've talked about question number 14 and 15 already, that the advantage that this institute you have over other universities, and we actually have listed so many points. We are not asking you to include everything, but when you do the comparison, try to put some of the indicators and make sure you have at least 3 to 4 comparative points, which shows that your option is better and the decision you made is actually good for your career. That's what we want to see. Now, to answer that question, we actually have a table here. Comparison table. So if you actually complete this comparison table, you can edit these ones. For example, let's say you are not talking about course satisfaction of the university, probably you are including something else. Comparison table, you might do your research and put your university's name, for example, the university you are going to study, and the second university's name, third university's name, fourth university's name. And then if you are talking about overall rank, then include overall ranking, include subject-wise ranking, and other things, so that you can compare from that from this table. Okay, let's go back to our main one. We are in question number 15. Yes, so that's how you need to make comparison. Now, a few other things here. For example, you said, I've chosen to study in XYZ university, and they ask you, where is Y university located? You don't know the answer. You will be failing in the interview, because how you said you considered that particular university, but you don't know even where they're located. They ask you, for example, which university did you consider, which course did you consider in Y university? You don't know, but you are saying you have done the research. So what kind of research have you done? You are saying, I will be studying, for example, I've considered Ulster, Bolton, and Birmingham City University. And if I'm an interviewer, you are going to Ulster, and if I ask you, how much is the tuition fee at Birmingham City University? And if you don't know the answer, I would not consider that you have done a research. Okay, because if you have done the research, if you have considered Birmingham City University, you would know how much would be their tuition fee, isn't it? So this is very, very important that you do thorough research and do the similar amount of research, okay, in all universities you considered. Now, what is the address of this university? So you are going to study university, but you don't know their address, you will be failing in the interview, okay? So what is important here, that you know their address, about their geographic location, whether they are located in London, Birmingham, Manchester, whether they're in England, Scotland, Wales, or Northern Ireland, whether they are in southwest part of London, England, or northeast England, where. So you should know the geographic location, the exact address. You should know about the surrounding area. Go on Google Maps, okay, satellite map. You will be able to see, what you have closer to your university. Okay, so always do that research. Also, if your university has a few campuses, then you should know how many campuses they have. And also they might ask you, why did you choose to study in that particular campus? Now, some university offer some particular courses in a specific campus. For example, if I give an example of Greenwich University, they offer their engineering course in Kent campus. So you say, well, I've chosen to study at this campus because the engineering courses are being only offered in Kent campus. But if you are studying in Ulster University, and if you're going for international business management with data analytics, then they are offering the same course in Belfast campus, Birmingham, and London. And if you're studying in Birmingham, then you must have a very good reason for choosing that particular campus over London and Belfast campus. Okay, so make sure you do this research. We already discussed about what you know about the surrounding area. So that's all about university. Okay. The next one is about your career plan. Okay, so what we want that you tell them you will be going back to your home country. Some of you might decide to stay here after finishing your studies. Some of you maybe will be switching to work permit and so many different type of visa. But what they want to see that you are committed to go back after finishing your studies. So whatever career plan you make, please make sure your career plan is within your home country. Okay, so if you tell them, well, after finishing my studies, I will be coming back to Ghana, that means you are telling them the first thing you will be going back, okay, which is a very positive answer. Okay, and then you need to name of the position you will be working. So for example, if you are studying let's say, for example, bachelor degree, master's degree in marketing, and you say, I will be coming back to Nigeria and I will be working as a CEO. You understand? So how is this related? What did you do before? How this master's in marketing will make you to work as a CEO? So you've got to be very careful. Your answer must be reasonable. Okay. So for example, if you are studying a program, for example, let's say you are working as a marketing executive or marketing assistant or digital marketer, then show them how you will be progressing in your career when you go back. Now, if you say straight away, if you say I will be working as a head of marketing of a company, is that reasonable for you to start working as a head of marketing? If you are coming here for a bachelor degree and you've just finished your high school, you are coming here to do a bachelor degree. Once you go back, are you going to get a job in a senior position? No, you will be getting a job in as a fresher. So you've got to be careful. You've got to show them how you will be progressing in your career. Okay. So after finishing my studies, I'll come back to my home country. I will be working. I'm planning on working in this particular position with XYZ company. You need to name some companies as well. Okay. You have to have a target companies. Now, if you are missing the company's name, if you are not talking about any specific position, then you will not be passing the interview. Now, if you are planning on doing your own business, which is common as well, then what kind of business you will be doing? Who will be your targeted customers? In what region your business will be operated? This sort of information will be who's going to give you the fund to operate the business. So this sort of information must be coming up on your career plan. Okay, so what is more important here, that when you are answering, please do make sure that you research about a position. What would be your roles and responsibility within that position? How are you going to get progress? How are you going to get promotion either in your company or in a different companies once you have few years of experience? So what you want, your short-term goal, long-term goal, the name of the companies you'd like to work for, and a very specific position. Now, there are two things I want you to remember. when they ask you, why did you choose to study this course? You might say, well, the course will open up wide range of opportunity, work in so many different positions in so many different industries. That's fine. But when you are talking about career plan, if you say, well, I'll come back to my home country and I will be working as either as a marketing manager, business manager, or human resource manager, that is not specific. They want you to have a specific answer. Now, you may not achieve that, but they want to see that you actually have a very specific plan. Okay. Other things, for example, someone say, oh, I would like to work as a business manager, and they ask you, what would be your roles as a business manager? You don't know. You will be failing in the interview. What would be your expected salary as a business manager? You say, oh, I will be making 100,000 naira. How much is 100,000 naira in pound? Okay. You are investing 30,000 pound. How many years it will take for you to get your money back? Okay. Again, you are saying, oh, as a business manager, I'll be making 5 million in a month. Is that something reasonable for you to achieve? Okay. So do that research. Okay. Something, it should not be too less. Something, it should not be too high, but it should be reasonable. Okay. Your answer cannot be exaggerated. Okay. When you give exaggerated answer, you will be failing in the interview. That's a simple thing. And other things, for example, we've talked about, if you want to work for some specific companies, then have you applied for the job or to those companies? So you have completed your bachelor degree 10 years before, you worked for 10 years, you have experience, now you want to come here for masters. You are saying that you want to work for what do you call Access Bank as a senior manager. Did you apply to Access Bank to work as a senior manager? Why did you not try before? Did you not get the job? Okay. Now, if you haven't tried even, then how do you know that you don't qualify for that position? Yeah. So these sort of things, you've got to show that, yes, I did apply. I've applied for that job. I did not get the job because it was very competitive. There are other strongest candidate who has internationally recognized qualification from different countries with more experience. Therefore, I did not get the job. Now, if I say I've applied, I did not get the job, and then if the further question is, how did you apply for the job? And if you don't know how, the application method, that means you are lying. Okay. Or you say, oh, I actually went there and I dropped my CV. But is that does this company accept CV like that, or they ask you to apply online? So you must do your research. Okay. So just to quickly to recap what we've talked about, the career plan. So what is your plan? There should be name of the companies, position, short-term and long-term goal. The position should be reasonable. It should show that you are progressing in your career. You will be getting higher salary than what you are getting now. Now, if you are getting 200 pounds right now, your salary, and after finishing your master's, you go back to your home country, and if you say my salary will be 250, then the entry clearance officer will say you are investing 30,000 pounds to get a 50 pound difference in your salary. That doesn't make any sense. You will be failing in the interview. Okay. You should know your roles and responsibilities of the job. Okay. If you want to work for some specific companies, then whether you have applied, if you have applied, whether you've got the job or not. If you have not tried, then there will be another question, why did you not try? Now, it could be someone, for example, maybe you are not qualified for that job. Maybe that company requires you to have some specific degree in specific subject. Maybe they want you to have what do you call experience, or maybe there should be some sort of criteria probably you are not meeting. So for example, a student who is coming here to study undergraduate degree, if someone asks me, did you try to apply for the job as a manager? I'll say no, because I'm not qualified for that. I need to finish my graduation first before I apply for a graduate level job, isn't it? Also, where are those companies located? You are saying, I would like to work for X company. And if someone asks me, where is that X company located? If I don't know the answer, that means I have not done the research. Okay. So you must know where are those companies located as well, the size of the companies, the pay structure of those companies, and you should find all those informations online. Okay. So if you Google it, there should be so many different forums, there should be different people working in the industry. You should do your research and get as much as information possible. Okay. Why are you interested in this career? Okay, that's another question. Okay, maybe there's a very good earning potential, maybe there's a shortage of staff in that particular field in your country, that's why you want to do it. Okay, how is this course linked to your career goal? This is very important questions. Okay, you are studying a course and you must show that how is this linked, what subject specific knowledge and skills you will be gaining from your course that you can apply in your field of study, sorry, in your job in future when you start working. So you must show that that link. Okay, what sort of subject specific knowledge and skills you will be gaining. We've already talked about expected salary. So what would be your expected salary upon your return? So you must do a research about that, and you also show that where you have got the information. We've seen someone says, oh, I will get 200,000 Indian rupee as my salary. Then the question is, where did you get this information? And if you can't give the information, then that would create a bit of problem. Okay, so you might say, I've looked into news portal. Then which news portal? Maybe some of my friends or my relatives working in that field, and I know they're getting that amount of salary. So what research have you done? Okay, that must come up. Okay, so that's all about career plan. There are few links given. Okay, there are 2 links for Bangladeshi student, as we have lots of students from Bangladesh, but do look into the do your own research that gives information about the salary and income structure for your country. Then is, when did you finish your last course? Okay, or when did you stop studying? Okay, when were you graduated? This sort of question. So if someone says, I've finished my degree in 2015, then we want to know, or the embassy wants to know, what are you actually doing since 2015? Now, the common problem here, sometimes we've seen students, they write one thing on their CV, and on the interview, they say different thing. Okay, so you are working as a marketing manager. That's what you have written in your CV. When they are taking the interview, you are saying, I was working as a marketing executive. In your CV, the company name is something, and you are telling them other things. You will be failing in the interview. So make sure that your answer matches with your CV. Now, they will be asking, what was your roles and responsibility within that company? Now, if you are memorizing the roles and responsibility from your CV, that would create a problem. It seems like you have memorized, you have written your roles and responsibility on your CV, and you have memorized it. But what you have written, that you should be telling them in your own word. Now, the most important one among these for student who is working now, that why do you want to stop studying? Why do you want to resume your study again after all these years of work experience? So you need to show, maybe you've been working, but you are not getting enough progression in your career. Is maybe because of the qualification and experience, market is competitive. Okay, this sort of thing. So you need to give them a very convincing answer for resuming your studies after so many years of work experience. Okay, so we've covered 28. We've covered, if you're working, what is your roles and responsibility. We've covered question number 29. If you are currently studying, so some student, maybe if you are coming here for undergraduate degree, you finished your high school 2 years before, and you've started your bachelor degree in your home country. You've studied 1 year, now you want to leave your course and come here for another program. Okay, so a genuine student, they will not easily leave a course, but we have to give a very good justification for leaving that program and starting a new course. Now, if it's the same degree, then that wouldn't be a problem, because you see, if you are doing a degree probably in your home country, it might take 4 years time. You've studied 1 year, you are coming to UK, you will be studying another 3 years anyway, and you will be getting your degree. Okay, if you are doing a master's degree in your home country, then if you have studied 1 semester, then you leave that program and come here, that that is not something very credible. So, we've got to look into that. And if any of you have any of those cases that you already have disclosed that you are studying in a program and you are leaving, then please do communicate with your counselor or with our compliance officer. They will be able to help you to structure the answer for that question. The next one is about your finance. Okay, who is financing your studies? Okay, now some of you have work experience of 5 years, 7 years, 10 years of work experience, and you have saved your money for the education. Now it's okay if you say you have saved, if you have your own money, but the problem creates when they ask you, okay, how much is your current salary? My salary is, for example, £200. How did you save £30,000 in 5 years if your salary is £200 a month? Yeah. And are you actually investing your life saving for the education? So this sort of question will be coming up. Now, most of the time we've seen that students, they're not able to show that they have the full amount of money and they have arranged it. So in that case, you might say, partially I'm funding myself. So my parents will be paying for my course fee, while I'll be paying for my living expenses, because I've worked for last 5-7 years and I have saved that money. So when you say that you've saved, please do your calculation that if you're working for 5 years, if your salary is £300 per month, if your expense is £50, and then 250 times 60 months, how much is it? Okay, is it double the amount? Okay, or what? You have to have, that's why I said consistency answer. Okay, that your answer must have consistency. You say your husband, your partner sponsoring, then what is your partner's job role? How much is their annual income? Which company do they work for? If you have your parents sponsoring, what kind of business? What is their profession, their income? So whatever you say, please make sure you show that there is enough money. Okay, the people who is funding your course, they have the money, they have the reasonable means, and they have the enough money after paying their own expenses. Then they have the spare money to give you. Okay, if someone says, for example, I'm coming from Pakistan and my course is going to cost me £30,000 and my family income is £25,000 annually, UKBI will refuse your visa application, saying that you are actually investing for your education. That is what you can earn in a year, more than what you can earn in a year. So that doesn't make sense. You understand? What I usually say, if you are coming for undergraduate and if your annual cost is £25,000, see if you can show an income of your family minimum £55,000 annually. If you are coming for a master's degree and if it costs you £30,000 in a year, try to show at least £45,000 in a year your family income. Okay, and if you are self-funded student, you already have saved up the money. So, for example, you are working for 5 years, you already have saved your full money for your fees and living expenses. Then, in that case, it's fine. Okay, so other question is, for example, let's say you are saying your family has a business and they make about 50,000 or 50 million in a year. Then where is this business located? How many people work for that business? You would know at least. If you can't give the answer, then you will be failing. We've seen students who said, oh, my father has a dairy farm located in Punjab, okay, and he makes about 50 lakh in a year. What is the name of the dairy farm? Students, I don't know. Well, students saying the name of the dairy farm is thinking for a minute to come up with a name. It shows that you are lying. You understand? Therefore, you will not be passing the interview. That's why I said that your answers should be quick. It should be credible. It should show that you are not lying. Okay, so please be careful about that. Okay, about the income. So the summary of the income section is this: no matter who is financing, your sibling can finance you, your uncle, auntie, your parents can finance you. You can be a self-funded student, but what we want to see that that it makes sense, and also that the money you've said you've saved or they will be giving, they have enough money, they have the spare money to give you. Otherwise, that would create a problem. And any follow-up questions in regards to the source of income should be you should be able to provide the answers. Okay, if you cannot give the answer and if there is any inconsistency in your answer, you will not pass the interview. Breakdown of the yearly income. So if someone has 3-4 businesses, then how much do they make from each business? You should know. Okay, some people might say, oh, I'm coming here to do a foundation program, I'm just 18 years old, I don't know how much is my father's make every year. That's not an excuse. You should be asking your parents about that. Okay, because if you say, I don't know, I'm just 18 years old, my father don't tell me, it's not going to satisfy them. Okay. And also another thing about how many people are depends on this income. So you are saying your parents will be funding and they have income of 40 million in a year, and there are 15 dependents, for an example. So they also want to know that whether how much is their current living expenses and how many people they are paying for. Your parents probably have income of 30,000 pounds, but 2 siblings, one sibling studying in Australia, and he's paying 20,000 pounds in a year for your Australians, for your sibling who's studying in Australia, and he will be paying another 20,000 pounds for you to study in the UK. How is this going to work? Okay, so bear that in mind. Okay, let's move forward to accommodation. Okay, where will you live whilst you study? Now, the main problem is we see students that don't have their accommodations ready yet. So some of the students probably have not confirmed their accommodation. So if your university offer on-campus accommodation, and if you are not coming up with a dependent, then you might say, well, I will be staying in university accommodation. You do not have to book one, but what university or the embassy wants to see that where the university accommodation, what sort of accommodation facilities your university is offering, how much do they charge for their room, and the process of booking the accommodation, that you are aware of that. Now, if you are coming with a dependent, then you must go for private accommodation. In that case, where will the private accommodation be located? Is it closer to the university? How far it will take? If you have not booked your private accommodation, then you must say, sorry, I'm looking in, I have not booked my accommodation. I've looked into few websites. So give them full website name. I've spoken to few people and I'm trying to arrange my accommodation and I'm planning on living in that particular area. So if your university is in central London, you're probably planning living in East London. So you say, oh, I'm planning on living in for example, Myland area or Upton Park area. You should know some area name as well. So you should do your research about accommodation. So what you need to do, how much will your accommodation cost, what kind of accommodation you will be using, whether you know how to book your accommodation. And if you already have booked one, then that's brilliant. You can say, well, I will be staying in this accommodation. But here they will be asking some other question. How did you book it? Okay, how long is it going to take for you to go to university from your accommodation place to university? What kind of transportation will you be using? Will you walk to university? Will you cycle it? Will you take bus, car? How much is it going to cost? So you should know all this information. Okay. You see, sometimes you might say, why university or the embassy will be asking that many questions? The reason why they want to ask you that many questions, because if you are a very genuine student, you will be curious to know, how am I going to go to university? You want to know this information before you even come. You understand? So if you haven't done it, then there are some concern about your plan, that whether you are actually taking everything very seriously, because you see, you are moving from one country to another country. It's a very big thing. So you must have those answers. Okay. Other thing is about your how much will be your overall living expenses. Sometimes, I understand that you need to show 9 month living expense in the bank, but we are not talking about 9 month living expenses here. We are not talking about UKVI rule. As a genuine student, do you know if to finish that 12 months program or 24 months program or 3 years program, how much it's going to cost you in total as a living expense, how much it's going to cost you total as a fees? Okay, so some student would say, coming for 3 years degree, my tuition fee is £13,000 for 13,000 pound, but they forget that they have another 13,000 pound they need to pay for their second year, and another 14,000 pound probably for their final year. So you can't forget that you need to know how much will be your total tuition fee, how much would be your total living expenses, how much would be your first year fees and living expenses, second year fees and living expenses, and third year where the money will be coming from for the first year expenses and second year expenses. I understand that some of you will be working here part-time, you will try to support yourself, but you don't need to tell them that that you are planning on working and saving up. They don't like it. They want students to come here who has the money. They need money. They want you to bring the money from your home country and spend here. So try to ignore or try not to talk about working and saving up in the UK. That would not give a positive impression. Then we've talked about that's all about accommodation. Now is about country related. We talked before that there are some question about country related question. So why do you want to study in the UK? Okay, you must give some research based answer. We already have some what do you call some guidance here. For example, you might talk about the environment, weather, the recognition, and what do you call that, teaching method, learning method, and the practical aspect of studies, the course duration. All this you might include, but your answer should be research based. Okay. Secondly, when they ask you whether you have considered any other country, some of you say, "Oh, no, I did not consider." No, that's not a genuine answer. That's not a very good answer. You are investing £40,000. You could actually invest same amount of money and probably get a degree from USA or degree from Canada. Then why UK? You need to give proper justification. So always say, yes, I did consider studying in USA or Canada or in Australia, and you make the comparison. You also have to compare that why you are not continuing your studies in your home country. Why did you decide to study in the UK? Okay, you have to do that comparison as well. Now, some students have seen, they'll say, oh, I've considered studying in China, but I didn't go to China because of the language barrier. Why would you even consider China if you are planning on studying in English-speaking country? You understand? It shows that you are just trying to come up with an answer and you want to make your life easy. And that's why you are saying, oh, there's a language barrier. So don't do that. Talk about other majority English speaking country and then do make your comparison and show. It could be, for example, for someone coming from Nigeria to UK, it takes about 6 hours. But if you go to Canada, probably it will take 12 hours or more. If you are doing a master's degree in the UK, it takes 12 years. If you are doing a master's degree in USA, it takes 2 years. That means you have to pay more money towards your fees and living expenses. Okay, it could be weather. In the UK, weather is much better than Canadian weather. Okay, in Canada, in winter, it's ice. The snow the temperature goes to -20, -22. While in the UK, it doesn't really go below -5. Even it doesn't go -5. We don't see that anymore. -5. It's about 1, 2, 3 in winter, something like that. Okay, so do make sure that you do the research. There are so many websites available for you, but please do not memorize answers or copy answers directly from any website. Try to give the answers in your own word. Okay, so that's all about country. About your previous visa refusal. Okay, you will be failing in the interview. For example, on your visa application, when you make an application to university, you said you never had any visa refusal. Now on the interview, you are saying you've got a previous visa refusal. Or say, for example, the inconsistency answer. For an example, if On your application, you said you have a previous visa refusal, but on the interview, you are saying you do not have any previous visa refusal. That would create problem. You cannot keep changing your answers. Okay. When you apply for the visa, it's very important that you disclose all UK visa refusal. About the refusal from other country, what I would suggest, you discuss your case with your counselors. They will advise you in regards to those refusal, what needs to be done. But if you have any stamp on your passport, if you have any visa refusal from UK, you must disclose all this refusal when you are applying for the visa, as well as to the university. So any question about previous visa refusal, please do speak to your counselor. They will look into your case and then they will advise you. Ideally, you should be discussing, you should be disclosing this information. You should not hide anything. But as I said, you need to speak to your counselor and listen to your counselor's feedback. Okay, these people are working for a very long time. They have experience here and they know what could create problem and what will not create problem. Okay, and they will work in your best of interest. So listen to their feedback. Are you using an agent to apply for the course? If so, what kind of service have you taken from them? Sometimes they do ask that question. So if you are, as you are taking the service from the agency, you say, yes, I'm taking the agent services from the agent. They have helped me to look into different options. They gave me more information about university and course and about the application process. They have given me the guidance, but don't tell them that the agent has decided for me to go to this university and study that course, because agent has got no right to decide for you. We don't make the decision for you. You make your own decision. We only provide you with the information. Okay. In terms of relatives in the UK, okay, so if you have any relatives in the UK, you should disclose it. Now, if you disclose it, please bear in mind, their immigration status, where do they live, what do they do. If you don't know this information, that would create problem. Okay. If you have your first blood relatives, make sure you disclose this information as well. So anyway, anything about relatives, also please do speak to your counselor whether that would create any problem if you disclose any relatives information, but I don't see any problem. Okay. If you are saying, oh, I've got a brother living in UK and he went to study there, after 1 year he's overstayed, he didn't come back, that could create some sort of problem. You understand? Because of your sibling overstayed in the UK, what will you do? So this sort of things, do speak to your counselor. We've talked about accommodation before, but there's another question about, have you booked your accommodation? So we've already discussed. I'm not sure why this question here is again. If you cannot find university accommodation, what will you do? Or if you cannot book your private accommodation prior to your course start date, what will you do? Okay, this is very important. So if I cannot find, I will be staying in a hotel for a week or two. And then while I stay there, I will try to arrange my accommodation. You have to have a plan. Okay. I think we've discussed already. Okay, another thing, how will you come to the accommodation from the airport? Some students, you are going to study in Sheffield, probably will be landing in Heathrow. How will you go from Heathrow to Sheffield? Do you have any friends who will pick you up? Have you arranged your transportation, or will you take public transport? Do you know this information? So please do those research. Easily you can find those information from Google, travel planner, it's easy to find those information. How much money will you bring with you? We've seen students come to UK, they've got £200 in their pockets. Okay. And they might have their relatives who will be picking them up, and they're not bringing enough money with them. Now, look, that would create problem. If students coming to study in the UK will be investing £30,000 for their course and living expenses and bringing £200 with them, that's something not genuine. So this sort of question, sometimes embassy can ask, or when you come at the airport, they can ask you the same question. How much money have you got with you? So if you don't have any money, that would create problem. At least 1,000, 1,000, 2,000 pounds you should have in your pocket. Okay. When you come here. Do you know about opening a bank account? Sometimes they do ask questions. Okay, how will you take money from your home country to UK? Do you know how to open a bank account? Whether you know some bank name. Once you come to UK, what would be your job to do? For example, I will enroll for my course. I will register myself with doctor, GP. I will open a bank account. You know, this sort of information you should know. Okay. Um, make a note of influential person, name of, okay, that's some typing error. So whether you know some influential person in your field of study. Okay, if you are studying English literature but you don't know anyone, any writer or anyone, that's something would create problem. Okay, you are coming here to study biomedical science, you don't know even a name of a biomedical scientist. Okay, that sometimes create problems. So you make sure that you know some people who have studied similar things, they have built up their career, they're very influential. Make sure you know this information. Are you planning on working in the UK? We've just discussed about that. If you, I understand that most of you probably will be working in the UK part-time. You don't need to tell them that, yes, I will be working. Okay, you say, I don't really have any plan to work. Okay, because I do have enough money to support myself. But if there's anything that would create value, okay, that would give me UK work experience, that would put something on my CV, that would help me to gain some experience and skills, of course I will do it. Okay, but you do not have to give a very strong that, yes, I will do now. You give them that something, if you find it's not because of money, but it's more because of your experience that you want to gain. Okay, will you work under post-study work visa route? Okay, so if these questions come, you might say, yes, I will. But in that case, I try to achieve that. Sorry, try to include that in your career plan as well. Okay. Or you might say, yes, I will work if I can find something that goes with my career plan. Okay. I've studied master's in biomedical science. The 2 years working visa allows me to work as a waiter as well. But that doesn't mean that I will be working in the UK as a waiter, because that doesn't go with my career plan. Okay, so even though the visa allows you to do that. So what's important here is that you tell them that you will do it if it goes with your career plan, if you can find something that is very useful to your career. Now, are you happy with your interview? Usually the embassy asks that question. Why? If you say, yes, I'm very happy with my interview, and then if they refuse your visa application, and if you say, oh, well, interviewer did not give me enough chance to answer, that would create problem, because you cannot back it up because you are really happy with your interview. So if you, unless you see that there is a problem, for example, you've seen because the interview is taken over the phone or on the Skype or video interview, if they take the video interview and if there is no communication problem, you've got the enough chance, please do tell them that you are happy. If you think that you are not given enough chance to answer, tell them that, can I have little more time to answer that question, please? Can I add 1 or 2 more points, please? Yeah, ask them. If they don't give the time, then towards the end, if they ask you whether you were happy, tell them, well, I asked for extra time to answer, but I was not given that time. Keep that in your record. Okay, once you finish the interview, if you want, you can ask embassy to provide with the interview transcript, that what sort of question they've asked you and what did you answer. They will be typing those answers, so they will be sending that report. So if in case anyone's visa get refusal after interview, we will be able to get that interview record and we can do the administrative review. But if you do not do answer properly, then there's no way we can do the administrative review. There are other links given. Please do look into all those links. That would give you a lot of information about studying in the UK. Okay, we already discussed about the comparison table before. There are few ground for visa refusal. In what cases embassy refuse your visa application? So number one, we said providing generic answer. Okay, so if you provide a generic answer, oh, they are really good, very helpful, they're very nice. These are generic answers. So if you provide such a generic answer, your visa application will be refused. If you are not able to speak in English, okay, your visa application will be refused. If your answer, if it shows that you have memorized your answer and someone was coaching you, then they will refuse your visa application. Okay, sometimes some student memorize the answer. When they ask you why do you want to study in the UK, they can give very nice answer. Then when there's a question which is not included on your questionnaire, even if it's easy question, they can't answer. Okay, so we've seen students, for example, from some countries, they're talking about the career plan very nicely, and when they ask you, can you describe yourself in 3 words, they don't even understand the question. Okay, so these sort of things can create problem, okay, that they will understand your level of English. Not being able to provide the source of information. You are saying you will be getting £3,000 in a month, but when they ask you where did you get this information, you are not able to provide the source, your visa application will be refused. Less credible answer, for example, we've discussed that before, that you were saying if considered one university, but when they ask you about further question about that particular university, even though they are not you are not going for that university, and if you are not able to answer, your visa application will be refused. It will show that you did not do enough research. We've already discussed about the follow-up questions, that there could be a lot more follow-up questions than what we have here. Does not seem the student has research about the course in university. So when you answer, so if you, same thing, if you do not do your research and if you do not prepare yourself, you will be failing, because it shows that you did not do enough research. And a fabricated answer. So we've discussed again already about the, what do you call, about the exaggerated answer. Okay, something should be very reasonable, okay, consistent, and if there is no consistency, then you will be your visa application will be refused. And we've also included few tips for you to how to secure the visa, how to do very well in the interview. So number one, listen to the question very carefully. Some of the students, they start talking before even they listen to the question. So if you're listening, you've got to listen to the question very carefully and understand it first. Okay, if you do not understand the question, please do ask them to repeat it. Okay, take at least 1 or 2 seconds, or say 3 seconds before you answer. How am I going to start the answer, rather than jumping into answer without any plan? Okay, now if you are planning for, you cannot plan for a minute because there is no time. They're not going to give you 1 minute to think about it. Couple of seconds you can take and see how are you going to start your answer. If you are too nervous, okay, they will try to make you comfortable as well. Okay, if you are nervous, they will say, sorry, I'm very nervous, I've never done such a visa interview before. That sort of things could help. They will try to make you more comfortable. Okay, talk very slowly. Okay, if you are talking very fast, then that would create problem, because they do type everything. Every single word you say, they will be typing on the computer. Okay, now university may not type, they might record it. Okay, while embassy would type your answer. Okay, bear in mind, if you are being interviewed by the embassy, the person who will take the interview, they are not the decision maker. They are just taking the interview, and once they take the interview, they pass the answers to the caseworker. Now, if they take the interview over the phone, then it highly likely the interviewer will be the decision maker. But if they take the interview when you go to BFS center or TLS center to submit your document, if they take the interview, they are not the caseworker. Okay. As I said before, that if they ask you a question before you finish your answer, then please ask them to give you time and try to finish your answer. Don't think that they are satisfied. It's not about satisfaction. They are just here to ask you question and write the answer. So it's your opportunity. If you think, oh, I've given the 1 point and that is enough, maybe they are happy. It's not about that. It's about you taking time and give the proper answer. Okay. We've also included that sometimes they do take second interview and third interview. So if an anti-clearance officer take first interview, and if there was any problem, or if they are not satisfied with the answer, they might refuse your visa application, or they might give you another chance. Another things, as you know, that embassies is not taking interview anymore. But please be careful when you submit your visa application. They might call you anytime to take an interview. Now, if they call you to take an interview, please do not do the interview straight away. Okay, so for example, I'm outside in shopping mall, and if they say I'm calling from home office, I would like to take an interview in regards to your student visa application. If so, okay, no problem, sir, ask me question, and they will start asking question, you will fail. I can guarantee you, you will fail, because you are not mentally prepared for that. You're in the shopping mood, you are not in interview mood. Okay, so you will not pass. So tell them, sorry, I'm not in a convenient place, could you please give me an appointment for tomorrow, or can you please call me after a few hours? Yeah, so they will call you back. They cannot refuse your visa application if you tell them that you are not in a convenient place. It might take extra couple of days, but even if it takes extra couple of days, still is better for you. Do not do the interview straight away. Make sure you take your time. I think we've covered everything. I believe you have found this session is helpful, and I'm sure if you go through this interview questionnaires and prepare yourself, you will definitely pass the interview. Thank you so much.